What is good, my people? We are back with another live show, back on the forecast. Yeah, I know I'm on pretty late. I was working on the next video, but I wasn't able to put it up today. So, make sure y'all subscribe to the backup channel, the Forecast Radio 24, because the new video will be live premiering on there tomorrow. I was trying to get it up tonight, so you know, but I still wanted to come on and holler at the people and see what's going on. Um, I know the fourth is today is the 4th of July, and if you want to talk about that, you can call in and talk about whatever y'all want to talk about. It's all good. But I do kind of want to get into I don't know if y'all been paying attention to what's been going on with that sister and the Olympics or whatever. But I do want to kind of address that topic a little bit. So I'm not gonna be on here too late, but if you got an opinion, I definitely want to hear your opinion. So you can call in. The number is 804-601-4015, and it's right there on the bottom of the screen. But what's going on, brother Bakari? If you want, you can come on, my brother. I wanted to talk about that sister with the Olympics. I don't know if you've been paying attention to it, but you can come on if you want. I ain't gonna be on here too long. Cause I also plan on coming back with another live tomorrow before the live premiere tomorrow. But make sure y'all subscribe to the Forecast Radio 24, and I'm gonna comment in the channel. I mean in the chat. So make sure y'all subscribe to that. But anyway, with this sister and anybody who want to come on, just let me know, or you can call in. But with the sister, a lot of people have a lot of opinions about what's going on with the sister. Now, I want to address something and how all of these people are calling this young sister, a dude, a man, and all of this stuff. Now, you go to the comment section and you go to a lot of comment sections on YouTube, and you can see what your enemy's real motive is. And that's why I tell you, go to all of these videos. All of these videos that I post up, if you go to the comments on all of them, it shows you your enemy's true mentality, right? That's how you can know that they're psychopaths, right? They have no feeling towards the loss of life, towards the loss of your life. Now, let it be the other way around, then, it's a different story. Now, somebody posted something about this sister, and of course, this white boy got on there talking about, oh, well, she's a dude anyway. She's a dude anyway. Now, the disrespect of our people, it has to stop somewhere. Now, there may be issues between men and women as far as certain things, and all of that comes with us trying to assimilate into a psychopathic society and having psychopathic standards for each other that we're not used to, right? We're trying to go against hundreds of years of history, and this is relatively new history, what's going on with white supremacy, right? See, they like to teach us and they like to limit history to us being slaves, and that's just not how life is. All of this stuff that we think is normal is not normal. This is a psychopathic society. And of course, this white boy got upset and wanted to attack, saying, oh, you're only defending her because she's a black woman. Well, you damn right. And he said you wouldn't be saying that if she was a white girl. You're damn right. But the thing is, no matter what they try to tell you, right, they can have, because believe me, their community has the gender wars. But no matter what they try to tell you, right, they're going to stay on code and have each other's backs. Why? Because they know this society affords them protection. They know they can go anywhere on the globe and do whatever they want to, and they have a government and the army that'll back them up. That's why you can see them white boys go over there in China, and them people ready to chop their hands off for all the crimes they committing. but the government went over there to get those people. Now, because another part of it is so many black people are just so quick to say, well, you should have been following the rules. Oh, black people get so mad about anything, right? That shows you the mentality that you have. Because do you think that America was going to let China punish some American citizens? They were on there calling these 29-year-old white boys children, right? To protect them. That's learning how to stay on code. But see, this white boy had no problem sitting up there calling this sister a dude. Now, see, when I said something to him, then he got a problem, right? Of course, he probably see a black woman as a dude, as masculine, because they're so feminine, right? Of course, you're going to see it as masculine when you're feminine. But see, they don't like when you talk about that, right? And it's certain thing you got to understand. White supremacy is nothing but a superiority complex. We keep making it more than what it is. We keep spooking ourselves out with this whole system. They're nothing but psychopaths, and they have a superiority complex. It's not that deep, right? They're not that creative. That's why it's easy to destroy their talking points. But see, when you come at them, when you question them, then it's a problem, right? You can't call them masculine. They try to do everything to prove whatever. See, they can say whatever they want to say about you, but you cannot say what you want to say about them. But there's an understanding that this is a different time. Now we say we're not our ancestors, but best believe our ancestors fought back just like we are. Right? Don't sit there and believe that it was just yes sir, no sir, and they kept their eyes on the ground, because we have people like that right now. But believe, you come from a history of fighters. You would not be in the position that you are in if it wasn't the case. But see, they can easily push whatever they want to push about that. And if we stand up for each other, they look at it as weird, because, not only have we been indoctrinated, they have been indoctrinated too. But their problems is irrelevant to me. But the issue with our people is that we are so quick to get on each other, right? It's not up to somebody else to punish one of us. You're not going to see America letting China punish their own citizens. We have to start having enough self-pride, enough self-love, because what we're really doing is finding excuses not to protect each other. Right now, of course, I'm not even talking about what the sister did, because apparently she smoked weed before and she won't be able to qualify. But it's the mentality of so many black people are quick to disparage this young sister. Right now, this sister is nothing but 21 years old. She made a mistake, if that's what you want to call it. But the fact is, we're still going by somebody else's rules and guidelines, right? We can say, oh, we agree or not. No, it's deeper than that. We aren't in control of anything. Do you understand that you are being sent, even if she went to the Olympics, you are being sent to represent a nation who don't even respect you as a citizen? And how do I know that? Because Joe Biden brags about having something to do with the Voters' Right Act being extended. Right now, if you were a citizen, they don't need no Voters' Rights Act for you, because you can vote. You're a citizen. But we are fighting them to represent them. And if that's not some kind of mental illness, then I don't know what is. But it has to stop with letting somebody else or whoever come in and disrespect our people, or let them be able to say whatever they want to say, and we're scared to say something back to them. Now, it's easy for me to destroy their talking points, right? Because they don't like to understand how feminine they are, right? How much they actually depend on you, because that superiority complex doesn't mean anything to me. Because, and I'm going to talk about it, tomorrow a little bit more when there's a little bit earlier. But we're so busy to cape for every other group, but we're not sitting there caping for ourselves. That's how you know that us trying to be on the same team as everybody else is not coming from a place of love. That's coming from a place of self-hate. That's why we're so quick to disparage each other for making mistakes. That's why we find every single excuse. All right, Pelage, I wouldn't go to the Olympics if I were black. Right? It's like that story Muhammad Ali said. He went over there beating people up for America, knocking out Germans, knocking out Russians, right? He won the gold medal, had the national anthem playing, and then came back over here and couldn't even use the bathroom. Couldn't even get something to eat somewhere. And this is what you are participating in. But, like I was saying, with the lack of self-love, that's why we can be so quick to disparage each other. That's why we can say, if you were to get this and this, you would just give it back to the white man, right? We subconsciously suffer. We all have some level of Stockholm syndrome, right? Some of us more severe than others, but far too many of us really believe that the white man's ice is colder. That's why we can look at each other and say, "You see," but that's nothing. That's not you talking. That's not your natural self. That's your programming talking to keep you on that programming. Now you got to understand how much they know how to stay on code, right? They have no problem letting men compete in women athletics, right? They can cross they can cross whatever line that they want to cross, right? But they're going to also ban whatever they want to ban. But see, without you, America wouldn't win the gold. They wouldn't be in America. That's what you have to understand. But we look at each other as if we aren't assimilating into this society, if we aren't accepting the ways of the Englishmen, something must be wrong with us. That's psychologically that's psychological damage that we have, right? And whether we all need some kind of therapy or whatever. But they getting on this sister about smoking marijuana. They lock black men up by the thousands over marijuana for non-violent drug offenses. But they make billions of dollars yearly off of marijuana, right? You have, because they don't really talk about, drug addicts like Hunter Biden. OB, what's up, bro? I appreciate that. And by the way, any of y'all can call in. I don't want to just be on here ranting. I wanted to have a show a little more prepared, but I was working on the video. So, you know, um, Y'all can call in and say your opinions or whatever. But they are making billions of dollars off the same thing they're locking you up for. And on top of that, they're making billions of dollars locking you up for it. Right? They're always going to find a way to discredit you. You cannot be the best at anything. And that's how you can see somebody with a superiority complex. They have to be the best at everything. All right.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Hello?
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2. Okay. I've sent the caller's voicemail. Goodbye.
My bad. I'm trying to use this new phone. Hello? Hello? Yeah, I can't hear. Yeah, call back in. Yeah, I'm trying to use a new phone. It ain't everything ain't working out like I thought. But either way, they make they are making. All right, here we go. Hello?
Hey, Foca. It's Pelez, man. What's going on?
All right, what's going on, Pelez?
Not much, my brother. I couldn't hear you, I guess, at first, and I hung up, so it went to voicemail. So, but yeah, man, it's feel like it's been a while, and I have to. I always have to call in.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh man, how is life treating you, my brother?
Everything crazy, but you gotta stay focused. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. That's right. Hopefully to all you listeners that's listening, and I want people to, I want people to support you too. You know what I mean? I know you don't ask for it, but you come in, you're distributing some knowledge to people, and I think I've been listening to you for like the past 2-3 years now, and I think every dollar helps, and I believe unity is the key. We got to support, our people, and for me, if I can give more, I'll give more, because that's just me. I'm not stingy with my money, and I don't know, man. Like we in this together. We in this fight together, and I want to tell you listeners something, and I want to tell you something as well. So I've got families, like not all over America, but I'm from Haiti originally, but I had some family who came in from Chicago. They're Jesus Freak. Like I said, I used to be Jesus Freak too, but my cousin and his wife and 2 kids came in, and I have a son who just turned 11. So we went to this revival, this like youth revival, and I only went to church to support my cousin. I mean, I just said, listen, I'm not even told my son, I said, listen, we go in there to just support our cousin, and then that's it. And my son was able to like get my cousin was able to like get the crowd fired up, and after I had to drop my son off, it was last night, to his mom, and I said, listen here, um, you know, Christianity was beat into us by our oppressor, and you could tell my son was getting annoyed with me, and I said, listen, I'm not trying to get you upset, I'm just telling you facts, and I said, I'll become a Christian again if the killing will stop, if people, white supremacy globally, the Asians, the white Europeans will condemn the killing of black people. I told them like I would become a Christian again. I said the white people use Christianity, differently than black people. So, like my cousin, and again, my son was young. He's young. He doesn't understand. He loves his cousin. He doesn't understand that my cousin is like, he's is a big tool for white supremacy. And I told him, I said, listen, I used to be just like your cousin because I grew up in the church and we didn't know any better. And I'm not mad at my dad, but that's what we know. Now, the self-hate focus, it's run deep in our family, in the black family, because that's all we know. When you looking at, Stephen A. Smith, or when you're looking at, I don't know if you saw, this thing he was trending on ESPN. It said, like, his goal is to, like, how can he make his boss more money so he can have some more of that. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. I mean, forecast. I mean, it's just, it's just, we are sick, Some of us are sick. But you realize that me and you and I and you, some of you listeners, we know we need healing. You know what I'm saying, though? And it's just, like I said, though, man, some of us not going to make it. Mm-hmm. And people think I'm being biblical when I'm saying that. I'm saying that because, like, it's, like all this generational trauma. And, you put in your faith in these people who's been nothing but disease. Like, the Spanish flu, COVID-19, SARS, Ebola, the smallpox, the Tuskegee experiment. I mean, you name it, And like I said, yes, we are fighters. And I feel like, in my opinion, I feel like we can do more. You have Marcus Garvey, who have the largest organization, like close to maybe 12 million people. Don't quote me, but I mean, it's just without Instagram, without TikTok. I mean, I feel like we can do our ancestors more. Make them proud. Like, for me, I look at black people, man. Like, we are one. Like, I got to tell you something. I took my family out to dinner, to like a mid dinner, like it was like around like 4 something, and I like to tip very well. Okay, for an example, I'm not rich, so long story short, the bill, I believe, was like $146 or something like that, and I end up tipping her, that she's a white Mexican. I end up tipping her like $35, because like my cousin's wife said, wow, I mean, I said 15%. No. I said, no. I said, if I tip 15%, 10%, black people globally would view as cheap. You know what I'm saying, though? I said, like, my goal is, if I have good service, you're gonna get a good tip. Because we are a representative of black people globally. I don't care, because like, I can walk down the street without me saying anything. I am focused. You know what I'm saying, though? I am so and so. You know what I mean? Though? I represent you. You represent me. And it's, I don't know, man. Like I said, yes, you're right with the self-hate, and I know you said something. I think you touched upon the Shikari Richardson thing. In my opinion, I think she should not ever been banned. And Joe Biden is a hypocrite with his son. With his son who's like a freaking like crack addict and stuff like that. And now if she was got tested positive for like an illegal drug, for like something like Marion John was taking, yes, ban her ass. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about like something that's like freaking like everybody's making a profit off of that. Like it's gonna take like for me, LeBron James, Naomi Osaka. You know, I know she's Haitian and you know, like I'm proud of her and Japanese, but the thing is, it's gonna take people like them to say, no more. No more. But I mean, like, why are we so scared of? Why are we so scared? I mean, like, you know, we need to stand together. You know, and then people are talking about, you've seen people like, well, Michael Phelps, his sentence was so more severe. He lost endorsement. No, he got suspended. It wasn't during the Olympics. You know, and like I said though, man, like it's just crazy. And like I said, we need to love each other. We need to forgive each other. We need to support each other. And, you know, there's too many beef that goes on in America. And there's too many, focus. There's too many, you know, cook in the kitchen,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's just like the thing is, though, we are great. We are great at sports. We are great at anything. I shouldn't just say sports. We are great at anything, you know?
Yeah,
and it's just like, yeah, absolutely. And I'm gonna wrap it down. I know somebody's gonna call, and I hope more people call and just talk, man, so I can just listen, man. And obviously, I like listening to you too. But you know, I want us so badly, man, to just unite. I mean, I know there's beef. Like, I mean, here's the thing. I listen to Tariq Nasheed. I listen to Michi X. I listen to Dr. Umar Johnson, and I know there's this beef with all of them. But here's the thing, though. I know they talk about the FBA, you know, the Black Americans and stuff like that. Listen, I want Black people to get reparations. I don't care. I don't want this division. Well, he's Caribbean, talk to this French, and it becomes like embarrassing and silly. You know what I mean? It's just like we are one people. You know, we are one, and like Dr. Henry Clark said, we've got no friends. We've got no friends. Yeah. But the thing is, though, Forecast. Keep preaching, man, and I'm gonna keep listening. And then, like, when I can donate, I will donate. Okay, my brother. Yeah. And then for all you listeners, so please donate. Donate $10, donate $5, donate $20, $30, or whatever you guys can get. You know, like, you know, maybe, I don't know, like, just let's just help them out. You know, I mean, we're not asking you to donate like $300 every month, you know, like donate $20. You know what I mean? And like I said, for me, if I have $5, if I have $10, $30, I'll do it. I'll do it. $15, I'll give it. So listen, Forecast, you keep up the good work, and I'm gonna go back to listening to the rest of the commentation. Whatever the things that you're gonna be making, and then hopefully other people will call in. Okay, man. All right, my brother. You take care.
Appreciate it, bro.
No problem.
All right, yeah, definitely. And I think another Georgia number. Whoever called from the Georgia number, you can call back. I don't really have an ID on this phone, so I can't see. But yeah, and you know, as far as the religious thing, you know, we'll probably have another show on that later. But I will say, you know, make sure you're not following the same religion as the people who are oppressing you, or the same God as the people who are oppressing you, right? But you know, as far as like what Stephen A. Smith said, you know, now that's a blatant mentality, but that's the same mentality from all right. Let's see how I get this. Hello?
Peace, forecast.
Yo, what's going on, my brother?
Oh man, not much. I was sitting here listening. You know, you was spend some knowledge. You call them psychopaths, right?
Right.
But I'm gonna be honest, man. It's almost to the point, man, it ain't nothing wrong with them. It's something wrong with us. We got to look in the mirror and be honest. We the one who constantly chase people who treat us like this and want to be friends with people that treat us like this. We the one who begs to be a part, right? Shakari Richardson, she should have been running. Weed is legal in most places, but I guess they still have their little rules, right? But we are the ones who racing to go be part of the Olympics and represent something that can't stand you. It hates you. We want to wrap ourselves in the flag. We want to call ourselves American. And if you're gonna be, and if you're gonna be honest with it, man, that's an absolute embarrassment to black people. I don't care how people feel about it when I say that, but black people going around calling themselves a black American, going around happy to represent something that hates you, is it, just be honest, man, is it white people with the problem or is it black people that have the problem? They not. They have done everything in their power to make us stay away. They have done everything in their power, so we don't want to be around them. We beg to be around them. We beg for integration. We beg to sit on a toilet, and we still begging for things today. While the brother who just spoke told the truth, you listen to some of these people on YouTube, and all they do is most of these people are paid, and they're paid to bring a division. We ADOS, we FBA, y'all not black American, y'all don't have nothing to say about what we have to say, and yada, 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 blase, blase, blase. I just heard somebody, they were talking about boxing, and for him, when Tyson Fury is fighting Deontay Wilder, it's not a black and white thing. But it's absolutely a black and white thing. All the black people in this country, all the white people in this country is pulling for Tyson Fury. All of them. When it comes to Anthony Joshua, some dude went off on me and the other on the channel talking about what you thought we liked him because he was black. We black Americans. He ain't no American. That's why we was happy when Andy Ruiz gave him a Mexican ass whooping, a Mexican American ass whooping. I'm like, what the hell? All the Mexicans, don't care where they were from, was pulling for Andy Ruiz. But black people is loyal to something that hate them. So I'm going to ask you, forecast, and I'm just being honest. Is it them or is it us?
So you want me to answer it?
Yes, is it them or is it us?
It's actually both. It's it takes two to tango. Is just to break it down on simplistic stuff, is a codependent relationship. Like, is one person, like it takes, like I said, it takes two people to tango. Like, it has to be one person that keeps going back, but again, that comes from a severe Stockholm syndrome, and that's kind of what I was talking about with this subject, because the brother mentioned Stephen A. Smith, and how he said, my first thing I think about when I wake up is how to make my white bosses money. Now, we are living in a system where we are getting on this girl for not following somebody else's rules that we didn't even make up. We get on each other about not following somebody else's rules that didn't even make up. Now, they don't follow the rules that they make up, but we don't get on them about it. We may cry about it, we may protest about it, but yeah, that comes from a sense of fear, but that also comes from, like the brother said, that not all of us is not going to make it, but that's still kind of looking at it through the lens of, that we have to do something spectacular. We have to do stuff one thing at a time. We have to build communities. We have to get in control of our children's mind. We have to change generational habits one step at a time. It's not some big magical thing that's going to happen. It's a lot of work that got to be put in. But it starts with each individual person, and it helps with channels like yours and mine and stuff like that. But I mean, yeah, it goes both ways. And that's why I talk about it. It's a self-love deficiency, right? We hate, um, It's the truth. Like, we hate ourselves because we are living in a society designed completely against us, and we're trying to fit into that society, but we never can. And that
So
is.
why do you brag on it?
Mm-hmm.
But why do you brag on it? Like, for me, like, there's a whole lot of stuff. I don't absolve white people of this country for anything they have ever done, anything they still do, or anything that they're going to do in the future. The question is, why do black people still brag on it? See, what we have to start doing, this is me. This is how I see it. We have to stop giving black people a pass, saying this happened. We know what happened. We know what has happened. We just have to be honest. Like you said, black people don't like black people. Black people love white people. And I'm gonna show you something. And then we follow some of the wrong people. Like, I don't care about Michi X, right? I don't like or dislike, because I learned to live outside of my emotions. As long as you live inside of your emotions, you can't think. And the one thing that I learned, if you learn to think under pressure, you're always in control. And we are constantly under pressure in this country. So we need to learn to do that so we can stay in control. But the people that we'll follow, who have 5, 10,000 people, 20,000 people watching them on YouTube, ask them the last time they went to a city council meeting, a county commissioners meeting. Ask them the last time they said, we gonna get together and we gonna do this. And I ain't gonna call nobody's name, but this is one guy, and people, he have a lot of people watching him. And somebody told him, called in and said, maybe black people we should put our money together and buy some land and live together and get a militia and protect ourselves. You know what his response was? His response was, name one place where white supremacy does not exist. But see, we like people because we're so emotional, and we don't understand how people is, I'm talking about black people now, playing on your emotions, beating you out of your money. You're constantly donating to them because we don't think. When you're all riled up inside of your emotions, you can't think. They know how to play on your emotions, right? So a channel like yours, you're not on their emotions. You're not playing on their emotions. So you can't get the big following. You can't, because you're not playing on their emotions. We need black people. We need somebody who can play on our emotions. And not only that, black people is in a situation where they want to be treated bad, because if they're not treated bad, they don't have anything to complain about. It may not make sense, but I'm just telling you how I see it. We need something to complain about. We can't fix ourselves, so we have to get mad because, well, look what they did for the Asians. We know. See, when I mention what they do for the Asians, I'm mentioning it, saying they're not going to do it for us. While we steady asking them to do something for us, I'm not sitting there talking about they did it for the Asians and they won't do it for us. We got to go out and do this. No. How long is it going to take for us to realize that we have to do for self? The problem is these people on YouTube, they're part of the problem, who can get inside of our emotions and get you already. We'll listen to them and nothing is done. We'll sit on YouTube, we'll cuss, we'll threaten to beat black people. Oh my God, if you threaten a black person, if you calling the black people the N-word and want to fight a black person and talking about women, oh my God, people gonna be all over you. If you constantly doing this so-called white supremacy teaching, which I absolutely don't even believe in white supremacy, it does not exist in me. White supremacy is a white people mindset, and I don't complain about how white people feel about themselves. I believe in black supremacy. Every group should feel that they are superior. The only way you're going to get these people off our neck is we get them off our neck. Asking them to get off our neck ain't going to do it. So I'm going to give you another example before I go, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to show you how they play on our emotions, right? A lot of black people was happy, and be honest, that they tore down Confederate statues, right? All around this nation, they coming down, and black people was happy, right? Because we say that gets rid of their racist and bigoted past and present, right? Mm-hmm. What did they replace this Confederate statue with? I'm going to just name one. You know what they replaced it with?
What?
a statue of George Floyd. And there's no difference in having a statue of George Floyd and a statue of Robert E. Lee. Now, let me explain to you what I mean. You know who Robert E. Lee is. You know what he wanted to do. You know who George Floyd is. So they give you a statue of a black man who laid on the ground and said, I can't breathe, calling for his mama, as a white man kneel on his neck for 9 minutes and 20-something seconds. They gave you, it's the same damn thing. They gave you a statue of black weakness, and we accept that. I wanted them to leave their Confederate statues up. I want them to raise their Confederate flag. The Confederate flag don't bother me. Confederate flag, United States flag is the same thing. Why do we want them to take down everything they have done to you? Why don't we want to teach our kids? See, it's us. I keep telling you, once we honest, it's us who don't want our kids to know what has happened to us. It's us. They have taught you to be ashamed who you are, and we accept it. I'm going to tell you, whenever I hear a black person calling themselves Black American, all of their revolutionary spirit is gone, and they have become a happy slave. I'm an American-born African. You cannot fight something that you love. You cannot fight something that you want to be a part of. We have all this loving spirit for everybody else, and you notice we don't fight nobody else. We don't love each other, and we'll kill each other if you accidentally step on my shoe. You don't fight what you love and respect. But if there's no respect and love, because for me, respect comes before love. If there's no respect and love, you will kill one another. You will call yourself a happy slave at all times because you want to be under the people. You want to be under the people that have absolutely dominated you. And I'm being honest with you. I love you, my brother, but a lot of this, what's going on now, it's not even white people's fault. It's black people's fault because black people sit here and accept it. When I tell black people, you know how many black men want to go train with me? When I say, let's go get our guns, let's go train, we need to prepare for what's going to happen, way more black women want to fight than black men. Way more. Way more from my experience. And if you ever looked at this other guy channel, I don't call people names. I really don't watch his channel. But when he's training, it's way more women with him who got guns, who want to train. We would sit there and complain about what white people do, but when the NFAC went out and did their marches, and you saw 5,000 black people armed up, bulletproof vests, guns and bullets, what did these big popular YouTube channels say? Oh, them N-words gonna get a bunch of N-words killed. So what are they doing? I'm talking about the people that might have 10,000 people, these people that making these fake ass documentaries that's getting rich off black people struggle. They're pimping the struggle, but we can't see it because we're tied up in our emotions. If we get outside of our emotions, we can understand it. We can see it. It's like one brother I see on YouTube, right? And regardless of all his flaws, I see him out there trying to do something. That's Dr. Umar Johnson. Regardless of what flaw people might say he has, he did buy the school. I donated to that for him to buy that school. Regardless of his flaws, he's out there doing something. All these other people, what are they doing? They will sit there and tell you how bad white supremacy is, and he did it. The one guy, he did a damn DVD and went to Jared Taylor, whatever the dude's name, went to the white dude's house in the middle of the woods at night, down in the basement, just them two with his 10 security guards. Now I'm going to ask you a question. Do you think that's a black man fighting with you, or do you think that's a black man that's having tea with a friend? But we follow them. Because I'm not going to the Klan member house and sit in his basement and he got 10 of his security there and I already know they want to kill me. Do that even make sense? It don't make sense, does it?
Yeah.
But we accept that. We got too many of our people that's keeping us blind. Most of our people want to wake up. When that brother spoke and talked about global unity. Most of our people want to wake up. I absolutely believe in black unity, global African unity, global black unity, whatever they want to call it. I absolutely agree with that. But we got too many people that we're following on YouTube that's designed to keep you asleep, that's only going to do beef video after beef video after beef video. And then I ask anybody, what is that beef video you doing with another black person to put them down, to build yourself up? What is that doing for black people? Man, I'm going to get off here. I've been on here a minute, man. I appreciate you, man, for letting me talk, for taking my call, and I'm going to listen, bro. Thank you very much.
I appreciate it, brother. Yeah, if anybody else want to call in, like I said, I probably ain't gonna be on here too much longer, so y'all can definitely call in. But yeah, my brother made a lot of good points, and I'll say this, well, first of all, I'll say this, like we in this generation more so than other generations suffer from this illusion of inclusion more so, but there are a lot of brothers who are on the right path, but now platforms, especially platforms like these, aren't going to show certain platforms like this channel. I know for sure that they unsubscribe people. There's no telling how many people actually watching right now. They take away the viewer channels. But as a community, and I definitely believe that it's up to us. There is no other choice, because why would they even give up their position, right? I don't say anything about them or try to convince them of anything, right? I show you, especially white supremacy, to show you how they move, how they operate. And I was going to talk about it tomorrow. You talked about a lot of things that I was going to talk about tomorrow. You mentioned the Stop Asian Hate, and there was this Asian dude that shot a 6-year-old kid, and they gave him a $10,000 bail, meaning he got out of jail for $1,000. Right now, I say all the time, until there's consequences for your actions, then people are going to pick on weak targets, because that's just the way the world works, right? But I don't show you the enemy. Now, when it comes to you, they are going to make an example out of you. All right. Before I go there, I'll take this next call. Hello?
Okay.
Yo, what's going on, my brother?
What's going on, man? How you?
I'm good, man. How you doing, bro?
That's a loaded question, so. But man, the better question is how your pop is doing, man. I remember back a little while ago, talking about your pop, man. Everything okay?
Oh yeah, well, he got to relearn how to walk and stuff. So he going through the whole process right now. You know how it is. Yeah, thanks for asking.
My heart go out, bro. I'm praying for your family.
Yeah, thank you, bro. I appreciate you asking, for real, bro.
That's where it began at, man. It all beginning in sincere care, man.
Yeah,
as we, at the end of the day, us, we don't really care about each other. That's why we can't even get off the floor, because we don't really care about each other. We got that Cancerian energy, man. We just pulling each other down. You feel me? Like, I know I ain't no fucking, pardon my language, I ain't no mega genius, but it ain't hard to see that you a leader, bro. Like, and black people should really be getting behind you in a major way. But that's because you bring that truth. So, revolution looks good from a distance. It always is cool to say Black Lives Matter through the screen or through the phone, but when it's up close and personal, it's not as. Black people don't want that. Black people don't want revolution up close. They just want it through the screen or from a distance. You bring that real truth, that real confrontation. Even the conversations you bring be too confrontational. You know, one time, man, I was talking to one person, bro, and they had the nerve to ask me, why do I care about black people so much, bro? For real, like, they was like, yo, why do you care so much? Because at the end of the day, that's the underlying thing. It's just don't care. We not healing ourselves, man. That's where it really started at. I almost feel bad for people like us, man. This shit baffles me sitting back. I live in a community where it's, majority black people. And all you can smell is barbecue and hear fireworks and gunshots. And it just reminds me of Americans, like, in the Wild West when they got independence. Because that's what we celebrating now. We celebrating their independence from Britain.
Right.
They was out in the Wild West shooting their guns off in the air and letting off fireworks because they got a victory. What the fuck? I'm sorry, I keep cursing because I'm a passionate person, bro. I'm just like you, man. I think I'm just way more unrefined and rough around the edges. But it's a place for me. Maybe I ain't meant to be at the top of the pyramid. Maybe I ain't meant to be a general, but I'm a tough lieutenant or I'm a go hard sergeant. And that's okay because as long as I'm part of the army, I'm contributing to us finding a victory where we could be popping off fireworks for a reason. I turned down every invitation to every barbecue, all of that, because it's just unreal, man. Sometimes I wake up and feel like I'm from another planet, man. Everybody is just do for self. It's like it almost feel like King Quattro, no cap. I be feeling like we just got out of slavery yesterday, bro. Because it's like everybody just wanna do what they wanna do with their life, before it's over. They don't nobody wanna sacrifice to see all black people finally come up out of this.
Yeah, that's the thing, bro. Like, it's not even that we got out of it yesterday. We ain't even get out of it today. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
But,
Yo, Kizzy, I'll tell you some real ill shit, bro. The sad part is, you're probably one of the only people who I can have this conversation with, other people that I know. And I've been, I'll be trying to spread knowledge and love to as much as I possibly can. And, nobody that I know would ever even, try to be interested in this. Everybody just trying to spin the wheel of fuckery, man. I keep cursing. I'm sorry, man. I've been drinking, I've been smoking. I got time to myself because it's the holidays. Everybody else celebrating and buying stuff and waving a red, white, and blue flags around. Mm-hmm. So when it's time for revolution, that's how you find yourself, man. You find yourself alone. In the end, Malcolm X found himself alone. All the people who was really about that, people find themselves alone in the end, man. Because it's the brainwash is too real. Either children of, like you said, psychopaths. If we was raised up by psychopaths, what did that make us? Like, we don't even begin to heal. We don't even recognize that we sick. We don't even recognize that we sick. We can't even see it. And really, tell the truth, white people make black people just all chill if they just treated black people better. Because that's all that black people want. Black people don't want to be free. That's why we never have been. All we want is white people to treat us better. And that's sad. That's sick. Like, after all our people been through. After the major sacrifices folks made, like that brother who did, who's still in that business with the police, they didn't want the cops to kill him. So it's a whole bunch of black people out there who feel like the black man was wrong. We just sick, bro. We beyond sick. and we don't promote therapy. We don't promote none of that. We don't promote, like, we tell if black people who raising up young kids, we tell them go learn a trade or learn to do something with your hands. Man, the number one thing we should be promoting our children to be is therapy.
Right.
Because our psyche is broken. And it's like the older you get, the harder it is to fix you, because that's just how the human brain works. If you teach somebody that something is a fact, it's almost impossible to change that in a person's mind. As adaptable as black people is, and we the most adaptable people on the planet, that's why we survived all these, evolutions and devolutions, because we can adapt to anything. But we can't seem to manage to get around this curve. We stuck here, and we loving people who hate us, because, like the brother said before, we love who don't love us. It's really gluttony at the end of the day. And that ain't nothing but something that we got from them, because they managed to make us believe that they smart. When really that's really, any black man, any black woman who listening, who ever hear this, your power is that you are genius. That's your real power, is that you are smarter than you could ever imagine. But that's why they make everything that has to do with knowledge and learning being uncool. That's why they promote stupidity and ignorance. Because that's the last thing they want you to know, is how smart they really are. Like, black people, man, you would think that the innovation, like how ingenuous we are, would spark something in you. But it don't.
Yeah, emotional stuff is different, from logical. Your emotions is different from logic.
Yeah, but the sad part is, we don't even see that we're the only people who deal with emotion.
Right.
Nobody else deals, and even if other people do deal with emotion, it don't govern any other aspect of life. If a black person going through something, we'll let our emotions govern our intellect, govern our health. We'll just let the emotion be the most important thing. Right. Whereas other groups, some groups don't even have emotions. I'm to the point where I feel like certain groups of people are soulless. They don't have no emotions. That's why they can do certain things that they do. But they'll put that shit to the back burner and deal with what's most important. We don't do that. They done gave us everything. They done gave us all the rope we need to hang ourselves. No pun intended. And it's sad that when I say that saying, it could be a pun for our actual history, because we the only people out getting strung up by a tree. Like, how do you see a person get strung by a tree and it don't spark something in your mind to say something's wrong here? Like, there needs to be a major change. We don't do that. We don't do any of that. We gonna never mind that, put that to the back burner, because at the end of the day, all black people really, really trying to get to King Archer no cap is they chance to win on the wheel of fuckery, bro. And they'll put it all down for a whole new Chanel wardrobe, or whatever it is that's their goal. A lot of people just want to be on TV, and they'll put all of that stuff down. And the feud is actually stand for something. We gotta stand the army in a full-on friendly fire war, because we got Crips and Bloods and GDs and all types of shit. These young men who got a revolution, who got a warrior spirit, but they don't even know who they're supposed to be at war against, because our parents and who taught us is so non-confrontational. We don't even really know who we're supposed to be doing that against, or with, because at the end of the day, we ain't even gotta fight white people. we could have a black militia of these Crips and Bloods going overseas, taking contracts, clearing shit out. We could be sending all these young black men to the Middle East. Man, Al Qaeda don't want no smoke with the GDs. Al Qaeda don't want no smoke with the Bloods and Crips. They'll go over there and rule that. But we can't even get our minds to that point. We can't. We just sit, bro. And for real, I got a question for you. How do you keep from the ignorance of black people not pulling you down and like not making you give up?
Well, because black people aren't as ignorant as we like to seem. Like like for me to say that would be like well, I'm ignorant too. Like I'm an average person. Some a lot of y'all say I'm like a leader or something, but that's the mentality that we kind of got to get over, because there is no one leader. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of our people go to what Brother Bakari was saying and what you were saying. A lot of our people can easily be led by one person, because a lot of people in general, but it affects us more. We're talking about our community, so it don't really matter about other communities. But most people are looking for a leader. But if you have one leader, then not only can they be infiltrated, or they can cut the head off the snake and it dies, right? But it's more of a system that has to be built, right? We have to have, doctors are leaders, teachers are leaders, a whole community of people. It's not one person, right? And, I don't know if that's kind of answering your question. I got, sidetracked, but, as far as like black people, right? It's like you were saying with the brother who shot back at the cops, and he was talking about, how so many people condemned him. But that whole illusion of inclusion stuff is really like 50, 60 years old, because like in 1940, 1930s, they knew who the enemy was. That's why they built their own communities. That's why they built their own. Now they didn't protect it, which we learn from history, and we do better than the last generation, right? But they it was brothers back then who was shooting back at the police. It was a brother who ended up killing like 1900 or something, or 1901. Dude shot like 30 cops, and they was harassing him because he was in a white neighborhood. And he ended up shooting like 30 cops, killing them, killing a whole bunch of civilians, just fighting back. Our people have that warrior mentality, and I have faith that enough of us, it don't have to be all of us, a critical mass amount. And we have to start teaching our children. It starts with the children. I definitely have faith in the people, you know what I mean? So I don't know if that answers the question, but
I ain't gonna lie, King Quattro, man. I ain't even gonna cap it out. You right. You right and you wrong, though, bro. I ain't even gonna say you right and you wrong. I agree and I disagree.
Right.
I agree that it is no one leader, and being and making somebody a godhead. If they take down the godhead, then the body falls.
Right.
But at the same time, our people is such in a place where they're not awake at all.
Right.
They sleep themselves and they hurting us.
Right.
So it's kind of almost better to have mindless followers, because at least you can step in and say, yo, look, follow this, follow me here, rather than say, yo, everybody do your own thing, and when you get there, you'll get there, because some of us never get there, bro. Like, it really is almost better to have mindless followers than to have black people just trying to do their own thing, because we so lost. We so lost that we can't, at least back then they could see the Malcolm X's of their generation. We can't even see our Malcolm X. Like, it could be a brother on the corner saying something as profound today as Malcolm X was saying then, but at least back then they stopped. They walked past the corner, they said, hold on, that brother said something that touched the nerve. I don't know everything, but I'm going to follow this brother. And nowadays, that brother could be on the corner, they not stopping. They just going to keep going. even some back then, some black people had enough consciousness to follow somebody in secret. They're like, yo, I'm scared to deal with Malcolm X. But on the low, I walked past the brothers and I slipped them $5, and they had less, and money was worth less back then. And they still would be like, yo, I ain't got much, but you know, I saw them pass the masjid and slid them my little $10. You know, it's a law. It makes their nation stronger. But I'm afraid we don't even do that, and money is more accessible now. You telling me ain't no scammers out there getting a $10,000 PPP loan? Can't flip that for you so you could publish your book, so you could do this and that. It's sad, bro. It's sad because the great minds are being wasted. They not even being acknowledged.
Yeah.
At least Malcolm X and Martin Luther King could be. Somebody could see them and say and recognize the greatness in them, bro. And I know you feel like you're an average man, but that's not true, bro. It's not. You're not. And I don't feel like I'm average. And I'm telling you, you're greater than me, bro. You chosen for real, like deep down. That's why I care, because I can see the greatness in you, and I ain't no super visionary. You know, take much to see a great man, bro.
Yo, I appreciate that. But like, you know, the thing is, like, it's like it may be an area where I excel in, but it may be something where I need your help in. You know what I'm saying? Like, the whole thing is like teamwork. You know, the only thing I say about, and I get exactly why you're saying that, but the whole thing about mindless followers is like you need to, like, our people. That's the whole problem that we have. We have always been kind of mindless followers. We don't put enough thought. We need to start spreading knowledge of self for each other, because it can't be one person, because somebody else may just having a different vision or just having a different perspective of how life goes may have a completely different idea that one person doesn't have. You know, one person, like me personally, I don't know about like kind of dictator stuff. And like you were saying, like, you know, we like I am great and I appreciate you saying that, but you are great. All of us are great, and we all have some greatness in us, you know. And I don't know if you're religious or whatever, but you know, most people are religious. I ain't gonna say I'm religious, but it's like that God figure, or how people would say the God in you, you know what I'm saying? That's your greatness. And we all have that. We just have to start, you know, we, especially our people, we have to at least agree that we don't want our children to be able to get shot by some Chinese dude and they give him a $10,000 bill and he go home, right? We don't want that. If we don't obey everything that they say and do, then, you know what I'm saying, but one person can't do that. You know, even a small group of people can't do that. A nation has to be able to do that. You know, America has the whole government. The president can't do one thing. They don't have one leader. And not to imitate America or anything, but you know, like you said, like if I get in a car accident or something, that means if I'm the leader, then you know, who else is going to step up? It's not like the black savior, the black messiah is black unity. You know what I'm saying? It's all
Absolutely, I agree.
right. So
No, I agree, but this is where I also don't agree, because we're in a devolved state from where we the only people, like, you know, across time everything evolves, but we're devolving. We're going down. You feel me? We're going on the downward spiral, bro. So when you're like, yo, it's I'm great, but I might need another person's idea. We're to the point where there are no other ideas, bro. It's either do what Quattro say or keep going down. You're the only one swimming against the grain. Everybody else is just washing downstream, bro. You're really the only one out here. You really, because think about it. There's nobody doing what you do. Your mindset is not duplicated anywhere else, bro. You gotta go far as hell between to find another mind that's like yours.
I appreciate it.
It's not how it used to be. Like, And the thing is, the way I feel is like, yo, look, I'd rather have you get all the support of everybody and and do the most you could be able to do before, the Supreme Creator calls you home. And that way it's a blueprint left for us to look at, because I'd rather have your blueprint than Steve Harvey. You feel me? I'd rather have you get all the resources and funding to do as much as you possibly can for the people, because at one point, when they get the consciousness, then they have something to look at. Because if everybody just on their own, once they come to consciousness, they're literally just being born. Like, black people got to do so much just to be born, just to get to the starting line. Whereas though you are miles ahead of that shit, bro. You really are. You feel me? And the sad part is that it's black people who've been to college and higher education and do all of this, but if you're not aware of where you are, what do you really know? Because the wise man knows that he knows nothing. And that's where you begin to have knowledge.
Yeah, anybody.
When you can first recognize that you don't know nothing.
Yeah, that's a fact. Anybody who knows anything knows they don't know anything.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. As basic, I mean, it's super profound. But at the end of the day, it's only profound because the basis, just submitting to nature and what's right and wrong in your soul is everything. But we can't even get to that point. So with that being said, I much rather that black people just pour everything into our last great ones left, because look what's coming down the line. Ain't no, the next King Quattro, the next forecast is Lil Nas X, bro. that shit is bugged out. And that's not even what scares me, bro. You want to know what scares me for real? Is what comes after that. What the fuck is the devolution from Lil Nas X, bro? That's what scares me. Because it's like some of the stuff that we into as a people blows my mind. It's just like, it's unreal. I really be feeling like I'm from another place. It's just unreal how black people, look at the relationship between us and the system. Like, there's no reason why you shouldn't have like 100 wives, really all at your feet. And I ain't saying that like sisters is beneath us. I'm just saying, like, they don't all see the greatness in you, like, off the rip. You feel me? Because we so psychologically damaged. Our psyche is so damaged that, like, the sisters will look at you and be like, yo, you really think you all like you think you smart because you can read. You feel me? We just so far away from where we should be that a person that knows where we should be needs to be the absolute head, because anything else is delaying the progress, and we can't afford to have our progress delayed any longer. I don't even want to say that white people is our enemies. We don't have no enemies. Our enemies is our lower selves. And we so far from that, bro, that we need those great minds. Because at the end of the day, bro, the greatest thing you could do is be a therapist, is be a healer. Because you help me with healing. Because you bring me the consciousness. You bring the confrontation right to my face where I can't avoid it. You make it so, basically, after dealing with you, a person, everything that you need to know about a person will be seen. Because once you sit there and you lay it out, if a person don't automatically kick in, you know, like, yo, You functional or you dysfunctional. And we need that. We need to unblur the line of functionality and dysfunctionality. Because they make it so in America everybody is functional. If a person is obese, 600 pounds, they I forgot what the word is, but it's all good. You're just fine with your 600 pound stuff. If you feel me, you can't stop stealing. You can't whatever. You just fine. Everybody is just fine in America because all they need you to do is waste out your life. Yeah. That's all they want you to do.
Hey, that,
just float along till it's over.
Yeah. Hey, that Arizona number, I tried to answer it and put it. I called.
Now you know what, King Quattro? If people call it in, go ahead, let them in. I appreciate you letting me on the line, bro. It was good to build with you, man. I love you.
Yo, I appreciate the time to work, yo. That's much love, my brother. I appreciate everything you said, my brother, for real.
Hey, man, you gotta give up the ghost, man. I'm not one of those. I don't think I'm better than you, man. I think you better than me. Man. You feel me? And that's how we gonna get forward.
Yeah. Let me take this call. I think the phone gonna hang up if I do.
All right, bro. I'm listening in, man.
I appreciate you, bro.
You already know. Peace, man.
Hello?
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, okay. I've sent the colored voicemail. Goodbye.
Hey, call back in one more time, Shanique. My bad. Yeah, the phone. I'm trying to figure out how the phone stuff goes. But yeah, man. Yeah, I appreciate everything my brother said, and I'll say this, and again with my brother Bakar and Blaze, but let me answer the phone for my sister. Hello.
Hello.
Hey,
sorry,
hey,
I'm good. I tried to call in and it got messed up on the recording. My mistake. Sorry, but I was totally caught up with the brother. I completely identify with his frustration because I know what it is to be in basically the hood, right? And you feel like you're hearing someone call out and express just the injustice, just the all that's going on wrong, and you can see it, and you wonder why everybody else can't see it. And then you see that some people see it, but you wonder why everyone else doesn't see that this person is calling out, and yet nothing's happening. So you think, okay, there's a light. Why are we not all running to that light? Why are we not supporting that light? But the thing is, the light, as you mentioned, it's in us because we all have to be that light. We all have to band together. There will be no question about why Black people don't love each other if we were trying to recognize light in each other as opposed to taking the narrative that, yes, and we do have an oppressor. Our oppressor exists, but it's more of a spirit than it is a person. Because you can find white people that don't hate you, but I'm not going to spend my life trying to find those. I know they're out there, but there are so many of the others that do that I have to realize that I have an oppressor, I have an enemy, and that my focus is not on them, but on overcoming what they're doing. So yes, the Lil Nas X's, they are a part of what the enemy is doing. Because we know in our heart, as Black people, there was a time when we said, oh, we don't do that, and we don't do that. There were so many things we did not do. Now there's this whole thought culture, everything is just debauched. As you said, we're devolving. Everything is about the lowest level of ourselves, and that's what's supposed to be good. It's not good. I'm sitting here listening to all of this just revelry and excitement, people throwing all these different bombs of fireworks and everything as my children, and we don't live in the hood right now. We used to live in the hood, Brooklyn, East New York. We're now in Arizona, and they're in their beds trying to sleep through this nonsense because not even 3-4 months ago, my 13-year-old was shot in a park that no one would imagine that would happen, and all by the grace of the Most High, he is still here alive, less had happened, amputation, all of that, but he's here.
I'm sorry.
So I'm thankful for him. I appreciate it, but I'm thankful just the same. I'm thankful because the Most High saw fit to keep him here, and we're able to get through this point. But there was a time last year when we wouldn't even be thinking about, oh God, we can stop this. We can stop this. The noise is just too much. He wouldn't be having PTSD about being shot at like 15 times by some random kids from who knows where. But we're now aware because we know we're the people. But before that, we didn't know we were the people. The people in that book, the Bible, we're those people. And that's why we have an enemy. Isaiah 1:3 speaks about it. The Most High realized that his people know not, they don't know their own maker. We all of a sudden putting on that direction. I'm going to go on my own. I'm gonna make it big. I'm gonna get rich. It's all of these different things, but no one sees it. So we have to focus on the Creator because He has a moral code that He let out, and it starts with you, brother, and brothers like you, because there's a head, there's a system, and it starts with a man. If a black man will step up on a regular, all of you step up. Believe me, even the hardest headed of women, black women, would step up and say, okay, I gotta find my position. I gotta be in my place. Whatever that is. I don't mean it to be a subjugation, but I mean for it to be a place where we respect our brothers. We're not walking around causing them to be in a mental place of just low level energy. It's not about, exactly, my husband said break the Willie Lynch. It's not about us trying to hate each other. It's not about us the women trying to be sex object symbols. Like the television tells us what to do, and we walk around being it. They say you need talent as long as I don't know how these women are wiping their tails with these nails, but they're walking around doing it. Everything is a rainbow color hairstyle. Like, this is not modest. This is not plain. And that's not to attack them, because I remember being 18 and being blonde and walking around wearing things I shouldn't. But that was because my mind was not clear on the fact that I don't need to be led by the world. I have to have a code. Code doesn't change. The world scene changes, but if you pray to the Most High for some direction, I'm not saying go to any church. I'm saying open that book and read it. The same way the information exists about how I just found out yesterday. I know I'm all over the place, but I just found out yesterday watching a video that we have had at least 7 towns that were black towns that have been submerged underwater. The reason I even came to your channel way back when was because I didn't hear any information about things that you were talking about. And it shocked me that I'm living here, a grown woman in this country all my life, and didn't realize how horribly we have, as a people, been treated in this very country. So when the country celebrates, we can't celebrate because, as the brother mentioned, he just barely feels like we just got free from slavery. We're not free, because as long as we sit here and continue to walk the line that the oppressor decides is how we should walk, then it'll continue the way it is. We will have some have money. They always had some have something. They wouldn't have a house and a field Negro if certain people weren't separate. But we all have to be separate. Separate in our actions, separate in our beliefs, separate in our code of conduct, separate in how we look at the world. Because, yeah, you ain't okay, but my brother's not, then we're not doing okay. If I walk the street and I see my brother on the side and I have food and he has none, then who am I to say, I recognize I'm black if I can't help him? Because I know every other culture can at least do that. And maybe they write it off on their tax or whatever, but they at least help their own. The fact that young boy was shot at through that man's window, and he just on his street right like a 6-year-old, that tells you again, they do not see us as human, but we are the human. We are the ones that, as the brother mentioned earlier, we look at people and see things being done to them. We're like, how can you do that? How can you hang someone? How can you do that? We're always presented as the worst kinds of people, but we have the biggest heart. Yeah, there's some of us who are guarding and letting demons get in us, and we go to low levels beyond the lows. Because believe you me, I did not watch that BET, but I heard about it, and I'm just concerned because it was disgusting to me that they got that brother out there living that life. And you know how people are going to run up in this place to do the same thing? But we have to remember they can't just give up and say, oh, that's it. The world, we just a lost people. No, we are people getting found. Because as people know, that 400 years is up. So now what? Now there's the land grab for Africa, there's a land grab for the minds of those who are still malleable mentally to be able to realize that, wait a minute, it's something I got to do. What can I do? Yeah, we can't just sit here and let our people just be destroyed by lack of knowledge and get involved in all kinds of filth. Yes, and we can call filth filth. We can call wrong wrong. Because this is the time when they say there'll be a point where right will be called wrong and wrong will be called right. And that's what's going on in every community. Now, did I, as a black person, escape the curses of not being in the hood any longer? No, not when my 13-year-old gets shot. So I realized that it's not about where you're at. It's about who you are, and you have to recognize you know who you are, and there's a responsibility as an individual. We all have a responsibility. When I see other black people in Arizona, it's funny because they're funny. They don't necessarily behave the way they do in New York. In New York, you get the head nod. Here, people look like, okay, well, I'm like I don't see you and you don't see me. That is not how I have to be. That's not how any of us have to be. And yes, there's precedence for why we should be a little bit afraid of one another, because sometimes some of us have real on us, but we can't live like that. If we can walk around and act as if we're okay in spaces that have nothing to do with melanin, even though we have been literally subjugated physically, mentally, and every possible way to almost not being able to move in this country by those who do not look like us, we can at least give the benefit of the doubt to people who look just like us and act like, okay, I'm going to try to be recognized by my brother as someone who cares. That's all we got to do. Each person has to try to care a little bit. And if it's only praying for a brother, you see, there's people out there, all kinds of demons, drugs, prostitution, involved in this world and like it. There's people, the scripture talk about how our people have feet that rush to badness. We know who we are. We don't, but we do, because we identify with wrong. And that's just what we are. But we can change and we can be different. It's all laid out in the book. And I hate to be all spiritual, religious, but all we need to do is open up that book and look in it. And then maybe we'll get the clue. Maybe we'll be able to be unified. As long as we said, that's our history. That's our belief. Everyone is taking it and used it and twisted it and used it to get, it's like walking around in the book of Eli. Like everyone's used it for the power that it holds, but us. We don't recognize that it's not about getting people together for a church. It's about getting people to actually say, hold on, Father, we have done wrong. It's in your word. We have been punished. That's why we're in this position. But that punishment is up. And we can see in the world that things are changing. But on the low level, like you said, in each little community, we don't feel it yet. We see different ones stand out. And we have to just try to do what we can to stand out too. And try to, you inspire me, and I'm sure you inspire that brother. And I know you inspire others. It's just a matter of, okay, what's going to be the catalyst for us to actually step out and do that thing and say, okay, I'm going to make a change too. I'm going to try to light a fire with somebody, because it has to happen. It will happen. The time is happening. It's now that it's going on. So, I mean, I usually call it, I'm frustrated. I'm like, I don't have the answers, but the only answer I can figure is open your book. I don't care if you believe in God or you don't. Open the book, pray, ask Him to show you what is truth, because we are the people. The scripture says, Father, I do believe, help my unbelief. Like we all have issues where we're wavering on what, because we've been lied to, manipulated by that same book. But we are the people. And the fact that we subjugated around the world doesn't show us that, I don't know what will. But I know the change is coming. And that's what they're afraid of. And that's why we get shot in the street. And that's why we get treated like, I don't know what. Everywhere we go, if you got a drop of melanin that's visible, it's some reason that there's a little outside. But we can overcome it. The story is written, and at the end, we win. Simple. That's all I got to say. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, my sister. Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's just about it. And if anybody else want to call in, the number is right there on the screen. I appreciate all of y'all for calling in, for real. And let me say this, and getting back kind of to the topic, and it goes to what my sister Shanique was saying, and Bakari, and Time to Work, right? And brother Pelez brought up Stephen A. Smith, and how he said, every day I get up for work to see how I can make my bosses, my European bosses, more money, and how I can get just a little bit of it. Right now, that is the mentality that was literally beaten into us. See, now I do have faith in our people, and I make these shows, and I do these videos and all of this stuff just to talk to our people, because we have to start understanding self-love, learning what self-love is, because like all of y'all was saying, at any time that we really want to snap out of it, we can, right? But the major thing that is holding us back is fear, and we have this deep internal fear within us And that's the only thing really holding us back, but there's nothing to be afraid of. I'm more afraid not to do something than to do something, right? Because we never know any single time that we could be shot down and there's nothing that you can do about it. But, I do have faith in, the people, and I talk directly to our people, to ourselves, because we have to understand that we are all we got, and we got to understand how the system works, and we can't be mad at our enemy for maintaining the position. We have to start responding with more urgency than they do to get out of this position. Now, we in this country, it has been illegal longer for us to read than it has been for us to go to public schools. So, of course, the knowledge of self is going to be, well, that was their number one target, to destroy the knowledge of self. Because if you ever find out who you truly were, if you ever found out that they had to kidnap you in order to build a nation, that they had to do all the things that they did to you in order to get what they got. If you understood that only a psychopath can hang somebody and cut off their genitals and take it home as a souvenir, a psychopath does not have emotions. You would not sit there trying to explain yourself to a psychopath. You will do what it takes to get out of that situation, and your enemy does not want you to know that. That's why they do not want this critical race theory in your schools and all of this other stuff to teach you just half of the stuff that they truly did to you. Because it's not about hate, it's not about all of that, but it's okay to have some healthy level of anger, but they're telling you that that makes you wrong, that is something wrong with you, and we're believing this system of white supremacy. Right. I appreciate that time to work. But like I said, it takes all of us. It takes a whole group of people. I can't do all of the things myself. Not saying that I have to. I can only play my role. We all have to play our role. Now we have to start, especially with our children, because that's where it starts. See, your enemy understood it was easier to raise a slave from a child than to take freedom from somebody who was already known freedom. So they infested your children's mind and made this generational thing that we call curses, but it's just generational habits that can easily be broken. We have to stop spooking all of this stuff out and break it down to its simplest form. It's making new generational patterns. Right now, I was talking about this sister, and it's the same thing as Stephen A. Smith saying, I got to wake up to get my bosses, when all of these people saying, well, she should have just followed the rules. Black people want to be mad at everything. That's really a fear talking, right? You are trying to integrate into a psychopathic society. If you look up the definition of psychopath, it's all of this stuff. It's the lying, the gaslighting, the fronting, and you know how do you know they're lying? Because when the same thing, when that 6-year-old white boy got shot in a road rage accident, they spared no expense to punish the person, right? The dude girlfriend got a $500,000 bail just because she didn't tell on him. But a black kid gets shot by an Asian dude, Chinese dude, Japanese, whatever, who cares? Right? Dude shoots outside of his window and shoots a 6-year-old kid, and they give him $1,000 bail. They're trying to tell you, send you a message that your life is worth nothing. And they need you to have that mentality because that's how you keep somebody in perpetual servitude. You have to think that they're worthless. They have to make you think that you are worthless. And that's the whole point of these videos. It's not just about the history, it's learning about having to have self-love. Because how can you stand up for some Stop Asian Hate campaign, right? And you talking about you doing it for love, you do it out of all of this stuff, and the fear and the emotion that we have the most that is controlling us is an emotion that is controlling us is an emotion of fear, but that's a low vibration, right? When we get emotional, we are fearful. No, I didn't hear about that. I gotta look that up, Jerome. But we are fearful. That's the emotion that we are operating from. So we can go out there and say stop Asian hate and try to act like we're doing it because we love somebody else. But how can you love somebody else if you don't love yourself? And the brothers, Time to Work and Bakari asked earlier, how could you do you still love black people? How could you love black people? Because if you love yourself, then you're going to love people that look like you, especially if you live in a society where people are attacked because you look the way you do. You're going to realize, well, hey, I better do something about that because I don't want to be attacked because of the way I look. Because I love myself, I love my family, I love my children, and I deserve to be here. Right? A bird will attack a dog if the dog gets too close to that bird's nest, if it gets too close to those eggs. But you are living in a society that literally told you that is terrorism for you to protect your young. It's illegal. But for us to let some Asian dude shoot a little kid, and you don't see no Asian people out there talking about stop black hate. You don't see no Asian people out there condemning them, but we would have been the first ones condemning ourselves, saying if it was the other way around. But see, they have a society, a nation that they can depend on. Yeah, definitely. I definitely should do a live stream on there. I just do it on here because I got more subscribers on here, even though YouTube kind of hates or whatever, but it's all good. But if we letting this Asian dude walk around like it's no problem and we're not even doing anything to protect our children, that lets your enemy know right there that they're still in control, that you're still their slave, that you're still scared to do something. But what are you really afraid of? Tell me what they haven't taken from you. They've taken everything. So what are you scared of now? We don't have any more excuses. Now it's all about self-love, forgiving yourself, learning to love yourself, learning to protect yourself. And when you start doing that, you'll do anything to protect your community, your environment, the energy that's around you. You're not going to let somebody just come in and take what you have because you value yourself. You understand who your enemy is. That's why we have to start studying who your enemy is. And a couple people brought up the whole situation with Lil Nas X, and even with this sister, they tried to put her out there because she said something about gay people or whatever. Now they always try to do this, and this is what psychopaths do. They try to equate whatever it is they do to us not wanting certain things in our community because we're in a position where we can afford a lot of stuff. Everybody has the same problems, but we can't afford to have it while we're in this system. But they'll be quick to try to disparage and say, well, black people are this, black people are that, and they're complaining about racism, but that's just a way to get themselves off the hook. But never forget that most of the slave masters were straight faggots. And I say faggots because they were raping our ancestors, men, women, and children, little boys, little girls. That's straight faggots. But they try to tell you anything, but never let any group tell you anything about yourself. Right? Before a Jewish person can criticize me, they got to break off some of their reparations money. Right? Before Asians say something to me, they got to include me in their Stop Asian hate bill. Stop letting other groups tell you anything. Because as long as you looking outside of yourself for validation, and that's the main thing, we have to start going back to looking within. The thing that our ancestors had up until maybe our grandparents, our parents' generation, the generation of integration, they understood where they were. They knew who their enemies were. They knew they'd be lynched like it was nothing. See, we still getting lynched like it's nothing, but we don't understand that because we suffer from the illusion of inclusion. See, it's not that hard to reinvent the wheel. It's just that, and this is why I show the videos that I show, because that's usually when people get mad, right? No matter what you believe, no matter your religion, no matter where you're from, I think we all can agree that we don't want our children to be harmed. We don't want them to hurt our children. Our children should be protected. We can all agree on that. But we should all also be able to agree that they shouldn't be in control of our food. They shouldn't be in control of our educational system. They shouldn't be in control of the medical field. And my sister talked about growing up in the hood, and all of the hospitals around the hood are terrible, but the kind of hospitals you don't even want to go to. We don't have property that we can pass down from generation to generation. But the thing is, all of this stuff is not by accident. It's not a coincidence. And like my brother Bakari was saying earlier about you know, leaders and who we follow, right? This is why you always have to be aware of the people and the organizations that have allowed to be around. Because every single organization that was for the upliftment of Black people strictly, the government labeled it a terrorist organization and created government programs to stop it. Meanwhile, organizations like the NAACP can hang around, right? Certain organizations today, right? They, like, even with Black Lives Matter, they label it a political organization. So when we say, hey, my life matters, we're not talking about politics. We're talking about our loved ones. But they are talking about politics because they don't see you as a human. You got to understand that. Understand that somebody with a superiority complex, they project. They don't see you as a person. They don't see you as a human. Now, there's no excuse for what they do because they wouldn't even do that kind of stuff to a dog. They do that stuff to you because they understand how great you are. And it's not just me that's great. And I appreciate my brother saying that because, that means a lot. But we are all great. We all have different categories, different areas, and we all need each other for those different things. It's a energy. Black unity is our savior, is the Black Messiah. It takes all of us. Now, my brother may be good with guns, and my sister may be, good with, food, and another person may be good with plants, so they could do something to make chemical warfare. It takes a group, it takes a nation, it takes more than one person. Now, do we have to stop being emotional as a people? We need to learn how to use our emotions because psychopaths don't have emotions. That's why they do the things that they can do and not feel guilty about it. But it's learning how to use your emotions. right? Like James Baldwin said, living in America is a constant state of anger if you're a little bit conscious and you're black. Now, it's how you use that anger, right? I use mine to try to do stuff like this, to do all of the things that I can think of to uplift the people. You don't use your anger for something that doesn't benefit you. You use that energy for something that does benefit you. Learn how to use your emotions. Learn how to use your logic and not just blindly go with it. Because, see, that's what the whole plan of America was, to reduce you to nothing but your lower self, right? That's the whole programming that they try to install within us. Because a psychopath needs you to need them, even though they need you the whole time and you don't need them at all. It's all about loving yourself. But if anybody else want to call in, I'm gonna wrap it up in a minute. So I'll give y'all a chance to call in. But on this next video, I'm gonna live premiere tomorrow on the Forecast Radio 24. So make sure y'all subscribe. I'm showing you how these people react. Now, I'm not sure if anybody heard of the brother Rocky Rudolph down in Florida, but how they responded to this brother, and it's not being mad at them or protesting them or doing none of that. It's looking how they respond and seeing what's effective and using what's effective for yourself, right? Study your enemy because they damn sure study you. They're going to make sure you get punished. They're going to make sure that they slander you. And it doesn't matter if they lied. It doesn't matter if they cheat. It doesn't matter if they steal. It doesn't matter what they do. Because they know that we are the group that always say, no justice, no peace. Right? But we never get justice, but we are the most peaceful. They know that. We have to stop making everything complicated. If a bully come to you and you give him your lunch money every day, why are you gonna stop? He's getting your lunch money every day. Now, if you punch him in the face every day, now you might have to punch him every day, but eventually he's gonna get the message that he's not getting your lunch money. It's just too many of us are too scared to do anything about it. That's the whole point. My brother, time to work. Yeah, I'm about to. Yeah, I'm about to. And that's why, I do all of these videos, is us getting over that psychological hump, that fear. Because we always talk about, how are we going to do this? They're going to do this to us. They're going to do that to us. Well, guess what? They've done all of that stuff times a million, right? Things that we can never imagine. Anything you can think of and things 100 times worse, they've done all of it. What's your original language? Who was your great, 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 great grandfather? What country do you come from without having to argue about it? What is there to be afraid of, man? Like, at the end of the day, we are all we got, man. We got to stop fighting each other for pieces of paper with people on them that would have killed you, not even realizing that the real resources is the land, the natural resources. It just takes education, right? It takes us not teaching our children how to be workers and how to assimilate, right? We don't know what a war zone is. We don't even understand that we are prisoners of war. And the war is not over because we're still here. But we got to start teaching our children how to assimilate into a psychopathic society and start teaching them how to be successful, how to own their own, how to start businesses, how to manage money, how to have healthy relationships with each other. The brother mentioned therapy. It's not going to start until we start having healthy relationships with each other. Until men and women can have healthy relationships and raise healthy children, and they move into a neighborhood next to another healthy family, and then a bunch of healthy families get together, and that is a community. And that community makes sure no outsider come in and harm no child in that area. And if somebody do, then there's going to be a price to pay. Until we can get on the radio and call 10 people with guns to show up, like the police can do, that one person can come into a crowd of 100 people and violate somebody's rights, and we ain't doing nothing but recording, and they can get on the radio and call 10 people to back them up. Till we get to that point where we don't care what somebody else said, we don't care about somebody else's rules because we got our own rules, then we're going to be stuck in this same society, stuck in the same mindset, right? This mindset changes one day at a time, one step at a time. We got to stop looking for this big, huge change. It starts with you right now, not putting up with it anymore. So, I'm gonna be back tomorrow. I'm gonna try to finish up the video tonight and have it ready for y'all tomorrow. So make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Um, just type something in the chat room. Make sure y'all subscribe to that channel. The live premiere gonna be tomorrow. I'm gonna come back with another live show and holla at y'all, man. I appreciate all of y'all. The brother Pelej, my brother Bakari, Time at Work, my sister Shanique. Man, y'all yeah, y'all made this a good show tonight, man. I appreciate all of y'all input, man. Y'all the truth, man. Much love to all of y'all and everybody that listens and watches. It's no telling how many people really watch and listen because YouTube is a bunch of haters. But that shows us that we on the right track. Of course they're gonna hate us. I'm glad they trying to shadow ban my channel. But till we get our own, we gotta deal with stuff like this. And that should be even more motivation. All of this stuff should be motivation, right? That our parents dying at 60 and 70 because they got diabetes. Like, we should be sick of that. We should be sick of everything in this society, man. But I'm gonna holler at y'all tomorrow, man. I know it's mad late. It's probably still early for some of y'all. But as always, man, we have got to start standing for something, or we're gonna keep falling for anything.